We're back with the Harrowing's The Passing Show, live with Hal Gill, your host. And this is going to be a walk about. Got to go do some shopping at Trader Joe's again. This time, I think I might go Foggy Bottom once more. We actually went through Foggy Bottom and then had a little one-on-one with the bathrobe guys some time ago. See Lucas Lampert joining. Thanks for being part of this. What it is raw journalism, a little bit of who, what, when, and where. In Washington, D.C. We're by the Embassy of Albania, as you may be able to see there. We're cruising on by the embassy towards Friends Meeting House, next thing on this side of the street. A lot of folks out and about. It's a warm day. And you can see them moving. I'm moving. There's folks driving as well. Got a big truck trying to squeeze through on Phelps there. I think you can make it. Hopefully it won't scrape anybody. Let's get the little rock. A little agency, every little thing we do, not just magic, but it has an impact on everything else. So as we're breathing the atmosphere, as we're taking in the passing show, photons hitting our retinas, doing stuff in our visual cortexes, and creating our reality. We all create our own reality. Much of what we take in is a minimal set of what's available. So I think about that a lot. And I'm a philosopher that way, I suppose, because I'm number 78 and rising. Number 78 rising in philosophy category on here on Substack as of this morning. They've already dropped off. I don't know. But it was nice to hear that, It's like, wow, I must be getting some traffic. I had a really nice discussion this morning with Jessica Alpha. And y'all can catch that if you're interested. It's also out on YouTube. All these things are going out on YouTube, actually, which is kind of interesting how Facebook has that setting that allows me to, push it that direction as well as this direction. And, it sends up Google servers as well as, like I say, Substack servers. And I guess there's a limited number of, I don't know, storage seems to be getting really cheap and really available. And I don't know how it's all going to work out. But we're getting a lot of data down. And this is primary documentation, the way I'm doing it, for historians of the future, potentially. That worked out pretty well. I walked against the light. I don't like the fact that I get people kind of close in and probably can hear what I'm saying, but I don't mind you all hearing what I'm saying. And they're only the bigger lie and Lucas Lampert here so far. Place for sale if you're interested, 202-734-8320. Looks like it's a condo within that building, but I don't know. Might just be trying to sell it right off the cuff. Keep on moving. Don't stand and wait. Anyhow, the sun's pretty high up in the sky. It's a little afternoon. What time is it anyway? Do you see that? 12:37 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. An ambulance coming up here. Number one in the fire and EMS unit. I hope that they get to where they're going in time. There's lots of people out here suffering all over the world. You've got to have those EMTs out there to take care of us. God bless them. Risk their lives on a daily basis, going from one crisis situation to another. Think about that and do what you can to support them. Then we've been doing a little bit of writing in response to a post by Patty Smith, who was doing some writing this morning. She's apparently shaken by what she's seeing happening in Gaza and is processing that while getting ready to go off to Paris, where she'll meet a friend and go to a cafe and take in Portrait of the Magdalene by Delacroix. And she ends up talking about that on her most recent Substack post or at least the most recent one I've seen. I responded to it, put it as a note as well, and it's sort of getting a little poetic about it. I don't know. The guardians of being around us, the other species that accompany us on our journeys from dawn to dusk and back again, and cradle to grave. Something to consider. Every vote, every cent, rather, we spend is a vote for the kind of world we're co creating. Even if we're not electing leaders, we're definitely funding different things with our choices. And you can see why people have been choosing with the automobiles they're driving. Japanese, Japanese, Japanese. There are many Toyotas. There's a Ford. Harris Teeter Delivery, in fact. We go to Harris Teeter from time to time because they give us a discount on Thursdays. But if it's not a Thursday, don't go there. That's for seniors, which I'm one now. I get to be a senior. Across the way, there's a monument to Tomasz Garrigue Masaryk, the Czech patriot. There's a gift from the Czech Republic. Further on, there's the embassy of Greece. Can't see the flag flying there. Oh no, that's the Cosmos Club. I'm sorry. Let me see if Greece is around here somewhere. There's the embassy of Estonia. I just passed that, so we get to see a number of different embassies of different countries. About looks like you got it. I'm coming by the Church of the Pilgrims, a school for friends. It's now enrolling 12 months to 5 years old. Think of the world those kids are going to be seeing, eh? And I just can't imagine. I remember being a 5-year-old or so and going to preschool. Maybe I was even 4 when I started that. I don't know, but I was really young. And Mrs. Rose was my teacher. Mrs. Rose's son, Brian, was in the fife and drum corps ahead of me in Colonial Williamsburg. And he was is a photographer up in New York at this point. East Village, largely. He also has done things on Atlantic City, um, Monument Avenue, Richmond. So Brian's quite the photographer. I really enjoy his stuff. I haven't seen a lot of him lately, so maybe not following as closely as I was. But Brian, Mrs. Rose's son, Chipper, as he was known in school, was a friend to Bruce Hornsby. He's also a local guy. My friend from high school, Mike Yankovic, is married to his sister. So Mike's, Bruce Hornsby's brother-in-law. So that's kind of cool. Mike flew off of the Midway during Gulf War I, FA-18 Hornets. And I was more going with what Chipper has done. He's good friends with Suzanne Vega, who attributes a conversation she had with Brian, my nursery school teacher's son, with inspiring Tom's Diner. Tom's Diner sort of resonates with me because I sort of go through that. Another Suzanne Vega song, Left of Center, is similar in that standing on the fringes, watching the passing show. When they ask me, if anyone does ask me, what are you looking at? I always say, not much. Nothing much. I think they know I'm looking at them. I think they must think I'm out of touch. And maybe I am a little out of touch. One of the things Brian was saying to Suzanne in that conversation, which is actually in an interview with Suzanne, it was done for some magazine, talking about Tom's Diner. She said he was talking about how he felt like he was looking at life as though through a pane of glass. So alienation of distance from what's actually happening. Here I'm looking down into a little park area, grassy, suitable for picnics, in the neighborhood. I haven't never picnics there, but I can imagine doing it. Get a blanket out on the grass, in the shade of the trees, watching nature. That'd be nice. I haven't been down there in a while, but I have walked down there in the past just for exercise, just to see a little bit of something different, something different. Okay, who else do we have along for the ride? Richard Hogan, we've had you before, Lost Vibes 100. Good to have you. That's 4. I don't know how long the walk will be, but I've got a full dose of power, and that's a good thing. These trees giving us oxygen, standing through the years where they're planted. We are not trees. We can go anywhere with our mobility and bipedal gait. Bipedalism, man, that takes a lot of processing power. Keeping the balance, always shifting the center of gravity. Be where your feet are in the moment. Breathing, considering. Look at these bricks. Fragments. Older buildings, no doubt. Or just random junk that's accumulated over the years. It's kind of dusty here. So as I'm walking, I'm rearranging the dust just slightly in ways that it wouldn't have been in those particular positions without me walking along and kicking it up a little. Making a pretty good pace. Breathing. Humidity is moderate to high. Oh, there's a guy catching some sun down there on a bench. Let's see. I think I have 2 choices. I continue on this side, or I can loop behind the tennis courts. And I think I'll loop behind the tennis courts, head down one of those roads. Might actually end up at the Trader Joe's sooner than I was expecting. Heard a jet and saw it briefly coming into National along the Potomac and onward with all of our lovely privilege to be playing tennis on such a nice day. Everybody's somewhere if they ain't already there. Everybody's got to be somewhere. Pokeberry. It's like a paper mulberry. Man, it's warm. I tell you what, when you're in the direct sun, we feel the heat. Some folks apparently playing pickleball, I believe. That's gotten to be very popular. They're using like a wiffle ball, which has aerodynamic qualities that are somewhat different than the tennis ball, thanks to the little dents on them. I remember I got a wiffle ball when I was a kid, and I found it very frustrating and couldn't really whack it and make it do anything much. They were popular for a while. Plastics. Thinking now of The Graduate, Mrs. Robinson running for the shelter of her mother's little helper. And we got such good snapshots of our culture from works of art like The Graduate and Simon and Garfunkel's music in the background. Paul Simon's still out there doing it, apparently. I think he was recently rotating through the area. Here's a Cafe Bistro with cocktails. We're at 24th Street Northwest. I think I'm going to break over and go down 25th. Might actually break over further because, given the opportunity, I have a hankering to go down by the river after one of the last tunes coming out of my rotation from YouTube was Take Me to the River, covered by the Talking Heads, an early recording of that. And I just love Tina's bass on that one. Thum, 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 thum. Really nice rhythm. I picked up one of my bass guitars and started trying to pick it up. It's not very hard, but it is, of course, a matter of being practiced and I need to practice. I got some really interesting little fruits. I don't know what these are. I'll have to look them up sometime. They're coming off these trees, and I just moved them to a different place than they would have been but for my having passed here and tossed them around. Is what it is. Almost look like strawberries, but they're not. It's the John Francis Education Campus. It's school building. And I'm walking by Tomorrow's Promise Learning Center. Kiddies apparently have a nursing or nursery school there. Cogent space there. One of the things I like to do is walk around and see what businesses are around and document them and their existence. And sometimes I go and research them, find out more about them. Today I've been researching more on my own fellow Pipe and Drum Alumni's organization, noticing that they haven't really filed in Form 990 since 2017, which I don't find too much of a surprise. It's been 8 years. 2015, we had established a kind of bylaws for our organization, which we have proceeded to not follow. Like, okay, nobody really cares. It's a volunteer organization. We like to get together and make noise. And if there are those who aren't showing up, there's probably reasons for that. Now, this is an invasive species that's shown up in this area recently. And I doubt if I'll be able to mush him from here, but try. It flies. They're called red lantern flies, apparently, and they are not supposed to be here. But they are. And the eradication and control of them is limited, apparently, by our willingness to eliminate them. One more thing. Golden retriever. Very alert. Well behaved. Ignores me. That's good. Although I do like to be acknowledged by the doggies. There's a lot of sun right over here. I think I'm going to have to try to break towards the shade. A lot of people making their way from dawn to dusk. And yeah, I don't know if I have any interlocutors or not yet. Just watchers. Santi Zajek, good to have you. You're a friend of Jessica Alpha's, perhaps? I don't know. I don't know that I've seen you before. Whoa, here's one. I got it. Got that red lanternfly. He has now been subdivided into his constituent parts along the sidewalk. It's not very Buddhist of me, but invasive species, controlling them, it's probably a thing. The biomass that's being converted into them, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Got nice sweet potato vines here, very colorful. Don't know if they're invasive or not, but English ivy is. I know that much. Spent some time with the Rock Creek Park Conservation Group pulling English ivy out. And sure, we made only a small dent, but at least we were out there doing it, and we were educating ourselves and others about what we were doing. That was part of a service day with Archispicio. I really tried to participate in that company stuff. I found that they weren't as, keen on me as I was on trying to be a part of them.
No, can I talk?
63. I think there's some good shade there. Take it. We'll take the opportunity to duck out of the range of Old Soul. Our central star provides us with just about all the energy there is to be had in one form or another. even that which runs our automobiles and fossil fuels, or the coal that's used to generate the electricity for the electric ones, which, by the way, is a thing. Um, yeah, is what it is. We are what we are. Now, find myself almost walking into Georgetown. But my hankering is more to go down towards Foggy Bottom. Part of that is to see George Washington University, see what's happening. I guess, considering it's September, students should be back in town, back from the Labor Day weekend, and probably getting themselves settled. That'll be interesting. And we'll continue down from there. If we can make it over that far. Right now, I'm thinking, still want to go down to the river. Take me to the river. Drop me in the water. Washing me down. Washing me. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about while I'm on? I can't see anything on the screen really that's happening because of the sunlight. And we're probably getting it hot too. I have to be careful of that. Tilt away from the sun as much as possible. I have a black thing on it, so if I hold it up closer to me, I'll probably be easier to hear as well. Another jet coming into National. I can hear it. I can't see it. I think it's down below the tree line here. But there'll be more where that came from. And again, I have an app on the phone that tells me where these planes are from and where they're going. And, it's interesting to me to think about people moving through the air. At any given time, I did a little thing where it said that like 10 to 20 million people are airborne. Presently, with the amount of air travel that's happening, a lot more in cars, moving more swiftly than was ever possible before. Just 200 years ago, we didn't have cars like this in the volumes we have them. It's another ambulance. It was probably heading to Sibley, my guess is, considering its angle. Well, I don't know. It could be going anywhere. Any of the different hospitals about. I'm on M Street now. I'm going to head down towards the Key Bridge, I think, and then walk back. Maybe partially along the C&O Canal. Good bike route there. Good park like over here. Rose Park. And here we go. You keep on walking. Don't stand and wait. It's a little before 1 o'clock, according to the clock on the Four Seasons, or near the Four Seasons over there. Retail for rent. I'll tell you what, the amount of empty retail places is prodigious and something to think about because they ain't cheap. Used places, and if the big commerce is not happening in these places, then that means money is being lost. And everything's being reshuffled. The Ethiopian restaurant there, set for people eating inside right now. It's being hot out here. My friend Michael, I haven't seen him in a bit. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. Let's keep on walking. This is like, I'm losing count now. I could say 48, 49, something like that, of my new life. I actually have to pay attention to that if I want to keep up with it, because it's getting to be so rote now. I don't have to think about it. The heat on this side of the street's too high, so we're going to cross at our earliest opportunity. Go to CVS here. Self-checkouts. I'm going to pay for people to ban that when they can just automate everything. Sure people aren't pilfering. Oh dear, I think I missed the crossing. But soon enough, I'll be on it again. I will head down at the crossing on this one anyway. Vitamin D is good for you. It's got to minimize the amount of sun that one receives. Trying to preserve and protect my legacy and the legacy of my late father, legacy of my grandfather to that matter. They're all Harold B. Gill. And the Harold B. Gill Foundation, LLC, is my business. It's official. As of, I think September 25th is the real anniversary. I think September 17th is when I filed the paperwork to get it started. And I got the paperwork and boom, there was a little thing in it, which was a popper full of confetti, went all over the kitchen. That was kind of fun though. Okay. We have the countdown here. Gonna go with that. Get out of this side of the street. Not far from a Barnes and Noble, actually. Now that I think about it, 1817. We can make it here. I'm gonna make it anyway. That was illegal. That crossing. Yeah. I sound like that. Lawlessness in DC. I tell you what, man, it is something else, right? Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost out of the sun. Nice cool breeze would be good. There's the old stone house across the way, one of the oldest structures in Georgetown. Not far from the Junior League of Washington, next to Reformation. There you go. There you have it. Shall we go into Barnes and Noble or shall we not? There it is. Back again. No cafe in it though, dang it. So it doesn't get a lot of my attention. I like the Barnes and Noble with the cafe built in, where I can sip my coffee, read my magazines, not buy them. Much more apt to read them if I don't get them. Yeah, let's cool off for a spell. Baldwin, Mark Twain, American Heroes by James Patterson from JFK. Let them. So I always like to see what we're being programmed with. The Empire of AI by Karen Howell. Our lives are about to be remade. Yeah. Investigative journalist. This one I think is probably worth checking out. Um, I may get it as an Audible because I have credits from Audible, and I'm sure it's probably available on Audible. 2025, so fresh. 2024, Replaceable You, Adventures in Human Anatomy. That's interesting. So what else is interesting? Aristotle's Guide to Self-Persuasion. I don't know if I want to be persuaded at anything. Let's go up. Let's get out of this foggy bottom in the West End. Spotty's book on the neighborhood. My neighborhood's actually shared in Colorama. And that's good. Where are we going next? Let's go up to the top and work our way back there. This is all young adults classics over there. Classic young adult, that is, anyway. Children's books, classics for humans of older ages. The fiction section. Scanning. A to Z by author. Couldn't really go that fast. Atomic Habits. Let them get the defining decade. Why your 20s not unreasonable. David Brooks, The Second Mountain, A Quest for a Moral Life. Attached. The Language of Letting Go, Daily Meditations on Codependency. 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals. Oliver Berkman, good writer. Enjoyed his work in the past. Power by Robert Greene. I heard that Robert Greene's books were, you had to ask for them at Kramer Books, and I have no idea why that would be. It seems strange. Cryptocurrency options trading. We may get into things about crypto and blockchain and all of the different things with Amy Neumann when I have her on September 11th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Manager. I heard there was a secret chord. Music as Medicine by Daniel J. Levitin. Hardbound as well as softbound. I relate to that. Once was a note, 2024. I heard there was a chord. I'll have to remember that. I heard it's a chord. Your Brain on Art. Yeah, these all very much appeal to me. Noise, A Flaw in Human Judgment by Daniel Kahneman. Yeah. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, Man and His Symbols by Jung. Yeah, we got some good stuff here. Interpretation of Dreams by Freud. Book of Symbols, I have a copy of that. This one looks smaller. I guess the same size. How much is it? Can't really tell. Sure, it's in the code. Consciousness in the Brain. Deep Listening, Win Every Argument, Bargaining for Advantage. Wisdom of Crowds. Yeah, some good stuff, good titles. It's not like we don't have the ability. How to Die by Seneca, How to Focus by John Cassian, How to Grow Old. So it's time to philosophize. Spice, the 16th century contest that shapes the modern worlds. That's cool. Wanderlust, Rebecca Solnit, Oliver. Stoned, Jewelry Obsession and How Desire Shapes the World. Just have to have a desire, that's all. Talked about that earlier today. Ancient Rome, Missing Threads. I like to see a Man Apart out here. If you go to my Substack, you'll find a Man Apart at the top of the list there, and you can get it for free from me, as it was held by my father. Yeah. Lots on history, lots on weapons there. Vietnam War. We the People. Autocracy, politics. I think each one of us is our own little autocrat of our own lives. Just struck me to say that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I like the idea. Oh, they do have the magazine section, though. But still, no, a cafe that I've been able to find. And what magazine is grabbing me? Sense of Addiction by Time. What we know, what we're learning. All right. Travel and Leisure. Come to Washington, D.C. and can find out a lot. There's a couple of things on Washington, D.C. right there. Best Burgers. Northern Virginia. Da, 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 da. Yeah, keep walking. Walking down. Stand and wait. Which way is which? That's up. That must be down. Trip starts here. Nothing really is jumping out at me too much. Nothing really jumping out at me too much. Just green spoon, violinist thumb. Science. Blur through science. Mary Roach's Bone Concealing, Coming Wave, AI Power, and Our Future. Our Future. Azure. Grand Biocentric Design, How Life Creates Reality. That looks like a good one. Accessory to War. Merlin's Tour of the Universe. Shoulders of Giants. The Physics of Life's Emergence. Being Mortal. Do No Harm. Destroys life, death, and brain surgery. On the Edge. The Art of Risking Everything. Of course, y'all are picking up probably on things I'm not picking up. Classic German cooking, the very best recipes for traditional favorites from Semmelknödel to Sauerbraten. I learned a lot about German food when I was getting my undergraduate work done. Art books, art thief, Thunderclap, Da Vinci by Isaacson. Architectural Chanel. Music. Don't want to neglect the music. Okay, what is this? Take a deep dive into conceptual masterpiece. Interesting. Apparently that's a book. Music in the Mind. Sometime. Look, I made a hat. Anniversary edition of Pink Floyd's. Wow. Has a book. 50th anniversary. Pink Floyd, all the songs, story behind every track. Wow. How about that? Mayhem. So they got books. They got Deal. Say one for Deal. I've got that on Audible, I think. I tried to listen to it, but it's too much foul language. I felt 2015. Yeah. 3 decades. Beatles. Debut album by XXX Tentacion. 17. Deftones. Creedence. Florence and the Machine. It's been a while. Just a Lady Gaga. That's the biggest album ever, In the Dark. Limited silver vinyl edition. But how limited it is. It's funny. I've got one of those 5,000 dead set. And so they got really boop, 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 so new vinyl edition. That was a great album. Red Rain, Sledgehammer, Don't Give Up. Boise and Mercy Street, big time. Yep, Peter Gabriel. So good morning from John Marshall. Thank you. Hey, Bathrobe Guy. Meta to you too. I'm just browsing around the Barnes & Noble a little bit. Oh, compilation of 16 songs from that. 15 songs, oh yes, singles. So volume 3 takes. Yeah, actually, I have this. I have the whole set in CD. Do not need that. I like films. And I love Criterion's stuff too. Kind of fond too of the Marvel series because I think that they are sort of foreshadowing and reinterpreting, mashing up what we're experiencing. Who, not how. Bigger goals. Get a grip. Business. Fintech feminists. I love capitalism. Profiteers. Integrity selling. Yeah. We're all in this together, folks. Whether you realize it or not. And things are not evenly distributed. Gold metallic. Sheryl Crow. She did that 2024. Good for her. Coming along. I caught Cheryl in 2019, I think it was. I'm not sure. 2018, maybe. All my memories kind of flow together. I really had a good time at that show. It was nice. Took me a while to get over there. I started out talking to my neighbors and the glamping area of the super VIP facilities at the Lock-in Festival. Cheryl was playing that. Some of my friends actually know her. And I don't, but, it's been around laying down some tracks that were relatable during the time that I was living my best life. 1997. I talked a little bit about that with Jessica Alpha today on our podcast. If you haven't checked it out, Harrowing's podcast, Jessica Alpha 2, is out. It was 9 o'clock this morning. We got on together, and a little before we started pre-gaming, and then we went on, and then we stayed on until about 20 after 10 my time. Was that right? Or was it 20? Yeah, that's right. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy talking to people. If you want to be on my podcast, you can do it. All you have to do is hit me up, and I'll try to get in. In fact, I even go live with people right here, right now, if I know them or feel like I know them. The bathrobe guy sort of built up something. What app do you use to track flights? I forget what it's called, actually. Sorry. Maybe I'll bring that out later. And Sandy Sashak is a friend of Jessica Alpha. That's lovely. 116. So I think I've only been doing this for a fairly short time. I don't know. When did I leave the house? 12:30? And heading down to Trader Joe's to get Lynn some stuff, but I'm taking the long way to get there. So we're heading down one of these side streets. I guess is this 31st? No, it's Thomas Jefferson Street, Northwest. Angle and Focus has got the realty on this place, apparently. 8-unit property. Very old, I would say. Like to know more about it, but I don't have time to know everything about everything. I mean, to be fair, they were strong. Coming down by Canal Street. This one also for sale. Sotheby Realty, 1062 Thomas Jefferson, 1060. I think I'm still at Thomas Jefferson. Right? Thomas Jefferson Street, sure enough. Northwest DC. At all hours. It shall be their duty at all hours by day and night, so at night, to pass all boats and floats presenting themselves at their locks. So, lots of work to move these. Somebody was murdered on Canal Street. I hope I'm not that person. You see a canal boat up there, locks are kind of filled in, duckweed, trash. Oh well. Oh well. I don't know. I just keep on passing by. Apathy is terrible, isn't it? The brand guilds, deliveries on 31st Street. Touchdown. Unwind. Got massage, Botox facials, body wraps, baked and wired. It's cute. Might be nice if I wasn't in motion. The Foundry across the way, your gateway to Georgetown's vibrant lifestyle, modern office space for lease. Well, if the Harold B. Gill Foundation really takes off, maybe I'll get some office space and the Foundry. I don't know. I was a foundryman between 1986 and 1990 when I decided to negotiate my way into the gunsmith shop, which I did. I had to take a bit of a hit to do it, but it was worth it. And once I did that, I moved to the conservation labs, and I was there for years, 3 years, a little more than 3 years probably, when I took off for Premium Kimse to be a German immersion program to do German teaching at the University of Pittsburgh. I can transmogrify into just about any kind of critter you can imagine. And onward. Flew off to Augsburg, Germany. The summer between my first and second years there. Second year, I caught pneumonia and extended my stay for another year. So I did about full ride for 3 years, basically, get my master's degree. It was very, very accommodating. And I was, I don't know, I've got some redeeming qualities somehow. It's hard to say how, but I do. I was talking about working on my thesis at 61C in Squirrel Hill with Jessica Alpha a little, telling that story. I do love telling stories. And this is another story we're having here. A little more of the extended biography. Taking primary documentation, who, what, when, and where in my life, my perspectives, my musings as I walk along Thomas Jefferson Street Northwest to K Street to go down to the waterfront, Washington Harbor. It was all around us there. And I think pedestrians are sacred, so I'm going to continue. New Jersey, I did not run me over. It was kind of them. And we're uphill. Into a circle, checking out the cars, jet coming in out of into National along the Potomac River. We're going to get some nice views down here, I think. Might be nice to restart the passing show, in fact. But I'm not going to do that. There's a Starbucks here. Starbucks open, Starbucks in the restroom of a Starbucks. It's one of the Onion articles I saw years ago. Many years ago. Sorry I missed you. I'm sorry we missed you too. Ouch. My toe hurts. I will keep walking. I get random pains. There's nothing like pain and regret to remind you you're alive. There, I'm ripping off one of Sheryl Crow's lines from one I'm saying nothing but like regret to remind you you're alive. We're going to go down the steps here. We're going to go down the center. Oh, isn't that nice? A little fountain going, partly. It's like half the fountain is not going. It's like the body armor symbol. I wonder if that is. Home of the 2017 Washington Capitals Fountain Celebration. 2017 to 18. Folks over there. Getting a little moss. Over here. Founding farmers, fishers, and bakers. Here, music. Where's that music coming from? Somebody's docked there on their yacht. Must be nice to be able to have a yacht. I don't guess we really should begrudge anybody their yacht, should we? Or should we? I leave it to you. I'm trying not to judge too much. Judge not, lest I'll be judged. It's Nick's Riverside Grill over there. This is Tony and Joe's. Has some sports going on. It's at Illinois, second and goal. Iowa and Iowa State are playing. Ah, so, the DC waterfront. Who, what, when, and where? Washington, D.C. Jet coming into National looks like Southwest Airlines, one of the colors. Lots of people from all over the world come here, and I do too. I'm walking. I take a little on the boardwalk. Bean Bride. Yeah, wedding going on. Over here, Seaton. Lots of people eating under the shade. Good for them. A boat. This one is Mabuhay, Washington, D.C. They get a little cruise ship there of some form or another. Pontoon boat, whatever. Told you I'd take you to the river. I won't dip water, though. I'm not going to wash anybody down. I'm going to stay out of the water myself. Lack of seagulls. Jogger. Another jet coming in over Nashville. There's Roslyn over there, Deloitte. Um, got one of those buildings. Worked with those guys in the past. They had the prime on a contract I was on with FGM Incorporated, which was later Novetta. Novetta. Enjoyed my time with them. And there are many other opportunities I had along the way. Just a few. Just a few. Over yonder, you can see Crystal City. I lived in Crystal City when I first moved here. And had a place in Water Park Towers that looked out over the runways of National, and I could see the Capitol Dome from my bedroom. It formed my nightlight, always illuminated. Okay. I'm going to try and pass along this route. I'm not sure if that's possible or not. I seem to remember this blocked. Let's go this way instead. Not sure. I'm hoping I'm right about which way I'm going. Trying to make my way over to the boathouse, but isn't it then? No, walk up over. So I did make the break from. Go ahead and go back. Part of the C&O Canal, I think. It's so peaceful here. Trees overhanging the bank. Turtle on the log down there. I don't know if you can resolve him, but he's there. Past those branches. Probably a painted turtle. Considering his size. Life, hey? Turtles. Eating, all waiting for. All right, where am I now? Oh, it's everything. Not far from the Kennedy Center, maybe? Let's see. Let's just see where we end up. Back at the Watergate, maybe? I don't know. And the Watergate's old. Y'all remember that? The burglary that went on there? Democratic National Committee headquarters, led by E. Howard Hunt, The plumbers, Young. A guy named Young was the guy who gave them their name. And so guys who plug leaks. Oh, you're a plumber. Pretty noisy. And people on skates. Get over here in the dust. Black walnuts chill around and keeps me looking. Now there's a detour for bikes and walkers. I might take that route. See where we end up. So material here to prevent runoff and how well that works. Smells like rubber. Asphalt. Fairly fresh. On this little detour. There's the Kennedy Center. There's the top of it. That might be a fun diversion. I like to go in the Kennedy Center. They have a really nice exhibit about JFK up in the top. Makes you miss him. Makes you realize what we lost on that day in Dallas. Day Aldous Huxley died when Sheryl Crow was being taught to run, according to that song, Run Baby Run. She was born in November 1963, the day Aldous Huxley died, which was also the day C.S. Lewis died and John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So, JFK rests what's left of him, minus the brain, I believe, over in Arlington National Cemetery, which is not at all far from here. Can't really see it well from this vantage point, but it's over yonder. And the Kennedy Center named for him, Performing Arts. Its board recently replaced, headed by Donald J. Trump. It's the back of the Watergate we're looking at here. History happens all around us, all the time. I'm part of it. Watching the jet coming into National, all the people aboard that are heading to different destinations, and when they end up there, they'll be doing what they do, as people do, until they aren't anymore. It's a temp job, folks. Everything is a temp job. So be mindful of how you're spending your time and energy. I'm trying to keep myself healthy by doing this walk. Also documenting what I see in hopes that you all get something out of it. Maybe your philosophies will be impacted by the idea that every cent we spend is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating, that we are all responsible for the world we are experiencing. We are not powerless. We have the power that moves our vocal cords thanks to the sun and the energy that came to us through our food and all the energy we've used. Just about all of it comes from the sun. Of course, the elements that make it up, and the elements that make up our planet, came from the explosions of supernovas, in which the elements were forged. A lot of that water probably came from comets impacting the early planet. There's a lot of liquid water here, and hopefully we're taking good care of it, not polluting it too much with our boats, our presence. Some people are actually just moving themselves along on paddle boards. As you can see, Boomerang Yacht is out there. Folks sightseeing. It's a leisurely day for a lot of folks. It's a Saturday, but there are a lot of people working as well, trying to make a living best they can. That's part of what I'm doing. Trying to make a living. I'm working for my paid subscribers, of course, and all my subscribers, laying this down so they can vote with their feet if they wish, which apparently a lot are doing. Or they can amplify my signal through the noise. They can pick up what I'm laying down and pass it on, radiate it outwards through the power of the network. If we're not doing that, I'm not sure what we're doing. But suffice to say that I could really use the help if people were willing and active We can move the needle for each other a little bit. Sometimes it's just a little bit, right? Like $8 a month. That helps support Substack too, the platform that's keeping us all connected here. We are the media. There were placards going up around Union Station saying the media is not dead, it's just on Substack. And that's great. That's where it ought to be. Happy days, yeah. Yeah. There we go. I got it to stop for me. And these people can wait for a second while I cross and get to where I'm going, which is the Kennedy Center. If you haven't been to the Kennedy Center, I highly recommend coming and checking it out. And also, you use your legislatures if you're not happy with how it's being run or who's running it or what happened to it when the president decided to fire the board of directors and in place a new board of directors to shape the programming, things that are in line with his ideology, which I believe is happening. I'm not sure. Fact check me on that. If your ideology lines up that way, feel free to speak mine. I'm speaking mine. And I think that's one of the great things about being an American. We all have a right to express ourselves and we don't get arrested for it. That's not true everywhere. In fact, it's not true in Great Britain right now, as I understand it. So keep your eyes wide open. Or you never know what you might see. Never know what you might see. There's parking for the Watergate. If you want to check it out, they've got renovations coming 2017, commencing 2017. I guess it's still ongoing. It was 8 years ago. I don't know, man. Might want to change your banners, but that's just my idea. If it's ongoing, great. That is a pretty old facility. A friend of mine lives there. There's, I think, 6 Ferraris in his possession. I don't think he keeps them all there, but I don't know. He races them. Why do you need 6 Ferraris? I sort of understand why. I've met him. I know his backstory. I know the things he's been through, is going through. My heart goes out. And, if you haven't walked a mile in somebody else's shoes, well, you're not a mile away with their shoes, are you? Oh, boy. Steps. Steps are healthy. Good for the quadriceps going up. Strong quads. Kind of important. Let's walk around. Let's walk around. Yeah. There's a ramp. That's cool. I'll remember that. Georgetown University spires down the way. We came down from that way. Walk, walk, walk. I can read a little bit. Ooh. Francesca Cassini, good to have you. Alex Cosgrove, Jessica, Jesse Relkin. Yeah, good morning again to John Marshall. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Am I saying good morning for? Depends on your time zone. Good morning, good evening, whatever. I do what I can, what I have. How are we doing on power? Looks like we are at 70%. Not too much longer. We're going to do the Kennedy Center a little bit, take in what's happening. I have been known to go to a matinee here on the fly when given the opportunity. Maybe there's something up that I want to attend. Lynn's sick today, so she was on the couch when I left, getting some sleep, I hope. And sent her a good thought, healing vibes. She needs to rest. She works hard for a living, and I'm really grateful for her in my life. What else can I say? So red lantern fly. Mother. Not that one. If it wasn't already got. A lot of bugs. Ooh, there's some that are alive, I can tell. Got that one. Darn it. Missed them. Red lanternflies abound here. Gosh. Good Lord. So many. So many. Too many red lanternflies to count. Survivor. Was doing the same thing. All right, enough stomping on red lanternflies for one day. Let's see what's happening. It's on. Yeah. Blue square. Universal symbol of unity.
Yeah. You're in charge. You like
Eisenhower Theater. Parade? Parade.
See? And see that.
Company is people, stage managers. What is parade? It is a work of art. Tony Award winner, best revival of a musical. Book by Alfred Urey. Music, lyrics, Jason Robert Brown. Directed by Michael R. and co-conceived by Harold Prince. Hal Prince.
Fire.
I am Hal, so I appreciate that. So again, little who, what, when, and where here in Washington, D.C. Passing show. A good piece of entertainment for the evening. They have folks lined up. Spirits and whiskey for $20. That's not much whiskey. Oh boy. Let's come on down this end of the world. Oh, let's actually just figure out what's going on generally. I'm going to probably fly up to the exhibits upstairs, given the opportunity. I could get me a ticket for parade if I wanted it. A Sarah Quintet. That's cool. Halloween Spooktacular. Stuttgart Ballet, Onegin. Tango, hey. And yeah, that's fascinating. Arts and ideals. So the Kennedy Center, fine art.
It is true.
Let's see.
Like, and yet it's like.
There's an elevator over there too. Let's check. Oh, let's get a flyer. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. I just changed things suddenly. You were fine. All right. Okay, so now Sita and Simon conducting, composing, creating.
So,
Balls are alive with the sound of music. And here we are. An elevator it is, supposedly.
Can go back there. Sure.
Yeah, there's no elevator? Okay. That's the one I have to use? What's with that elevator? No answer? Okay. Idiots. Always the same. Always the same. Playing their games. There's an art and ideals exhibit upstairs, so I'm going to go up there and check it out. Thank you. Oh, there's